Welcome to this week's edition of Dispelling Anti-Mormon Lies, Myths, and Rumors. My name is Jeremy Goff, and today I'm going to be doing a special Mother's Day episode. I'm going to be tackling some anti-Mormon attack lines against motherhood and the prominence of women within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as dispelling a couple cultural misunderstandings, false doctrines, and just all around trying to help explain a bit about how I see mothers and women, and hopefully help you understand why I think this day is so awesome. Now, first and foremost, I think it is vital to preface any conversation about women with the belief of Heavenly Mother. We believe that there is God the Father and that He is the Father of all of our spirits. And where can there be a father without a mother? We believe that we do have a Heavenly Mother, and that every single son of God has the role model of our Heavenly Father to become like, and every single daughter of God has a role model of our Heavenly Mother to become like. This is fundamental and vital to understand because it is important, because in our world, Satan wants you to lose track of that. He wants you to think that your goal, what you want to become, is something other than like God. When you understand that Godhood is eternal fatherhood and eternal motherhood, then you understand why there is such a war on men and women, boys and girls and children within the world. Because if Satan can get us to attack families and get us not to want to become fathers and mothers, then he wins the war. If he can get us to choose that we don't want to be exalted, then we will never be exalted. Now, Satan does this in a couple different ways. First off, he attacks women and he tells them that being a mother is not valuable, that there's more that they can do. I remember having a conversation one time and I was told that, well, being a mom's great and all, but I could do more good if I was to do something else. I could do more if I was to become like an engineer, or if I was to lead a company, or there's just so much more that I could do than being a mother. And I said, I disagree. I don't think that there's more that you can do than be a mother. I don't think there's more that you can do than be a father. I think there's other things you can do. And I think the danger lies in when we think that those other things are more valuable. At the end of the day, becoming a CEO is not preparation to becoming a god. It's not. Going to college isn't going to help prepare you to be a god. Leading an army, leading a country, discovering a new scientific discovery, none of those things are going to help you become a god as much as being a husband and a father or a wife and mother. And it's important to realize that, because then you can start seeing Satan's lies and his tactics. Because if he can get us to delay families, get us to delay getting married, get us to delay having kids, then he's getting us to choose that we want something other than exaltation. And if he can't keep us from being worthy, then he can help us to not have the desire. I know many men and women who have no desires for fatherhood and motherhood, yet will claim that they have a desire for exaltation, because they don't realize that exaltation is merely eternal fatherhood and eternal motherhood. That's what President Benson taught. I'll share the quotes in the links below. Now, another thing that Satan will do is he tries to attack us on equality. He wants to preach the line that in order for you to be valuable, you must be equal. That you have to be equal in all things. And not just equal in value, but equal in obligations, responsibilities, and duties. That's hogwash. One of the main attack points is this notion that women need to hold the priesthood. I remember sitting in a zone conference on my mission, and one of the sisters asked, well, why don't women hold the priesthood? And Elder Marcus B. Nash was there, and his wife grabs the microphone. Sorry, it was Escobar Nilsson. And his wife grabbed the microphone and said, Sister, if you think that men holding the priesthood makes them better than women, you don't have it right. And if you think that women need to hold the priesthood, you don't understand the plan of salvation or the temple. What does she mean by that? It's actually quite simple. In the temple, you have the opportunity to be sealed. When you are sealed in the temple, you enter into what's called the patriarchal order of the priesthood. The patriarchal order of the priesthood is an order of the priesthood that God is in. It is a patriarchal order in the sense that it is godhood. It is entered into only by husband and wife together, and it can only be attained together. It is beautiful because that is what God holds. That is what He has, and that is what He's willing to give to us. So women who will go around preaching ordained women, they're not asking for the priesthood. most of those women know that by being sealed, they've already entered into the patriarchal order of the priesthood, which holds the ability to become a god. What they are doing is they are covenanting offices of the priesthood. And just as wicked and abominable as it would be for a man to seek office and to campaign for it and to protest for it and to fight for a specific office in the church, it is just as equally evil for a woman to do so. Would you ever stand for a man to be campaigning saying, I demand to be an apostle? No, you'd say no. The sheer fact that you are demanding that shows that you're not worthy of it. But for some reason we have it's okay for women to demand those things. And it's because they're trying to play off of ignorance. They're trying to play off and hope that the women and the men don't understand the priesthood. They don't understand that there is both matriarchal power and patriarchal power. And that when we enter into the order of the priesthood through sealing, both men and women enter into priesthood power. And that both of them are going to hold that in this life and the next. And when they are exalted, it is the culmination of priesthood and parenting. And that is what enables us to become like God. Now, the final thing I want to talk about when it comes to women is something that is very difficult for a lot of women. And that is the fact they're not there. They hear these Mother's Day conversations. They hear people talking about how being a mother is amazing. And they get discouraged because they're not a mother. Or if they're married, they get discouraged because they can't have kids. Or their husband is abusive and left them. Or any number of these circumstances which makes them feel inferior. 2 years ago, I was asked to give a talk in a YSA ward about Mother's Day and mothers. And I decided to approach it differently. Rather than talk about our mothers and how great our mothers are, I talked about the women in the room. Only 4 of them were married. Only 3 of them had kids. And I talked to every single one of them because it's important to understand that in the eyes of God, your motherhood precedes your maternity. What does that mean? That's what Sister Holland taught. That means that in God's eyes, He sees the end from the beginning. He doesn't see us as we can become or as we are now. He sees all of it at once. So in His eyes, He sees you glorified and exalted, a mother of many, a father of many. If that is your desire, that is what He seeks to give you. And so Mother's Day truly is not just saying, who on earth are biological mothers? Mother's Day is an opportunity for us to step back and say, how does God view us? How does God look at us? Regardless of whether we are married or single, whether we are fertile or infertile, whether we have tons of grandchildren who are faithful or none, or whether or not we struggle with same-gender attraction or not. If we keep our covenants, if we desire the blessings of exaltation, which is parenthood, then one day we will receive that. We will receive all that the Father hath. And Mother's Day can become a day where we look at the true example of femininity, our Heavenly Mother, and say, that is a mother. That is a mother who understands there's not a matter of something more I could be. That is not a mother who wants to do something different. That is a mother who understands and would never say, I'm just a mother. Sherry D once says, no woman who understands the gospel would ever think that any other work is more important or would ever say, I am just a mother. The reason for that is because the most powerful woman in the entire galaxy is our Heavenly Mother. She is a goddess. She focuses on, values, and is identified as Mother. So this Mother's Day, seek to learn about the Divine Feminine. Seek to learn about our Heavenly Mother and follow her example. And for the men, seek to be worthy of the girl that you will one day marry, the girl that you have married, or the girl that you hope to marry, whether in this life or the next. Hold to your covenants. Hold to the truth. And remember, there's an eternal perspective at play here. Don't be discouraged. You're doing better than you think you are. And if you're willing to pay the price of obedience, everything on the table is available as a blessing from God. Happy Mother's Day to all women, regardless of your circumstances. God sees you as a mother. God sees you as a glorified daughter of His, as a mother to many, both in this life and the next. There are both physical mothers and spiritual mothers, emotional mothers and other mothers. I know that many women have mothered me, and for them, I'm indebted. You take away the mothers, you take away who I am. And for that, I say thank you. That is this week's episode of Dispelling Anti-Mormon Lies, Myths, and Rumors, and our cultural inaccuracies. If you have another episode you would like me to talk about something, feel free to message me. Otherwise, y'all have a great Mother's Day. Bye.